Hey, thank you. Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be reviewing 3 different aspects of an organization that will be tantamount to success of your AI project. The organizational culture, the organizational leadership, and the organization's current talent pool that you're going to be drawing from in order to be successful in how we're going to be creating this AI project. So the first thing that we need to think about is the culture, which is an often underappreciated element that, every company says, oh, of course we're change agile, right? We really have to understand what this means, especially in the light of AI. AI will be, in many circumstances, a transformative element to how the business is processing and how the business is moving through their information. The question you have to ask yourself is, does the organization, first of all, understand that AI means doing something in a business process that they have never done before? This doesn't mean that, every company that's going to move into AI has to become a startup, or they need to place a pool table and everybody's going to be walking in with jeans and a t-shirt, and the culture has to be completely changed up in order to be successful for AI. What this means is that in many circumstances, we need to be thinking about what are those elements like that you see at a startup that are actually in very change agile that need to be incorporated into the development of a AI project. One of the things that you need to be thinking about is, what kind of company are you currently working in? There are 3 kind of, major examples of a company, one of which is a hierarchical company. Person A always reports to B, B may only talk to C, C may only talk to D, and that's it. And if D talks to someone outside their line, that's going to be a problem. You need to understand, is that what you're dealing with? Because in order for that to work, to develop your AI project, you're going to need buy-off all the way through that chain. That falls back to the communication skills that we were just talking about. That is remarkably different than if you're in a mid-sized company that's deploying a matrix culture. What does a matrix culture mean? What that is emphasizing is that one person may play many roles in a matrix culture. That means at some point you might be the programmer, but you may also be the analyst. You may also be the communication specialist at times. And that's still very different from those of you guys that are in the true startup world. Don't forget, in a startup, you have a scenario where you have to be everything. Right? When I had my startup, I was the janitor, I was the CEO, I was the database engineer, all of those things. So what's really important is to take a good look and ensure you know which type of culture that you're currently dealing with in order to be successful in how you're going to be applying what could be a very transformative way. So that will only be leveraged in light of what is the leadership of the company. It is often the case that if the leaders of the company do not have a clear understanding of the impact and a realistic vision on what AI can provide, it's going to be a very difficult process. Let's take a classic example. The development of a traditional piece of software has a plan, it has a layout, it has a Gantt chart, and it can be accomplished in 5 to 6 months. There are clear deliverables along the way. There are breakpoints with no-go, go decisions, and it can all form in this wonderful little tree, and none of that's going to work for AI. AI is going to require that you are thinking in a different way, because that allows you to develop strategies and to work in ways in which there is inherently built failures. You can't easily have a go, no-go decision tree for something in which the data is actually going to be driving that process. This is often the case that is a challenge for a lot of these hierarchical structures to kind of get their head around, but naturally fits into a startup environment. In order to be successful, not only do you have to look at this culture that you're seeing, what kind of company do you have, you also want to evaluate this leadership's realistic interpretation of what can be expected from AI. But the missing piece there is, what is the talent around you? Look around you. Most of the time it was thought that, I'm going to do AI. I better look to my left and see a Python programmer who has clear experience with scikit-learn and other machine learning packages, and that's what I need. Wrong. You also are going to need a great DBA. You're also going to need an intuitive sales manager. That this is a person who gets what you're doing, understands the value in developing some of these key pieces, but does not have the wherewithal maybe to necessarily write the code. AI is a team sport. You're going to need not only specialists in programming, but at the same time, people who appreciate some of those business management and acumen pieces. The main piece is not going to be only done by one individual who's going to write the program, but in fact is going to have to accomplished from a holistic perspective and will often require that you have alignment through the culture of your organization that maps on to the directives that are being provided from your leadership, and that the talent base that you have is in fact appropriate to accomplish what you're trying to do. So in summary, right, we want to explain a key element is to ensure that we've aligned through that concept of what the culture is, how the leaders respond, and do you have the right people around you. Call it a punch list.